2-week build-up here in the Bay Area. The moment has finally arrived. It is time for football here at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. Folks, this is Super Bowl 60, and we've got an outstanding matchup on tap. Tonight, it is all on the line. We play for the Lombardi Trophy, as it'll be the Seattle Seahawks taking on, well, another team from the NFC. Here's the kicker, Jason Myers, to get this one started. And off we go here on Sunday Night Primetime. Oh, a good return up past the 30. And a nifty return there all the way across the 40. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their quarterback, the guy out of California, the former Cal Bear, Jared Goff.
And he spoke very eloquently and passionately on Media Day about what a victory here would mean for him. He knows this just isn't any other game. This is the kind of game that stays with you for a lifetime. If there's anyone on this field tonight who's most ready for this moment, I think it's this man right here.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Goff. And that's to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
With a start here to the ball game, you get the good kick return, followed by a quick first down through the air. If this defense isn't careful, they might be looking at a deficit before they know what hit them.
Off play action. Here's Goff. Finds Gibbs on the check down. And he is out of bounds inside the 30.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Back to throw, Goff. He gets this out wide to Gibbs. And he's out of bounds, almost gets to the 10. That's good for a first down, his second catch of the opening drive. Well, we know he can run the football too, but he's a good pass catcher. That's been on display here, Charles, on this opening drive.
And we certainly have seen the benefits of what he did in the offseason, which was spend more time with wide receivers, working on routes, working on cuts, in order to make himself a more complete running back and even more of a threat downfield.
That'll give him 8 that time, and that'll bring up a second down in just a couple. But yet another completion here on this opening drive, and he's now perfect 4 of 4 to start. Pretty solid execution here.
And how about how everyone's handled their nerves? Because you know what it's like to start a ball game. You're so amped up and ready to go, and sometimes the execution isn't there. They've been flawless so far. Well-drilled, well-prepared, and excited to start this game.
And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1.
A gain of a yard.
And this is why aggressive defense coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
We've got a lot more ahead of us here in Super Bowl 60. Second quarter coming your way next. 0-0 our score. We'll return after this message. You're watching the NFL, and it's right here on EA Sports. 3rd down and 1. Appreciate everyone joining us. Super Bowl 60 here tonight. Time to begin the second quarter. Brandon Gardner alongside Charles Davis up in the booth as we get set to resume play. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Bates' kick is good. And the Lions are going to take a 3-0 lead. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. This one a little slow to get cooking. Just a 3-0 scoreline as they begin with a 1st and 10. Looking to put a drive together. Open man left side. Shaheed has it. Only able to gain a couple there. And it'll be 2nd down.
A gain of 2. Brings up 2nd and 8 at the 28-yard line.
2 minutes on the clock in the second quarter of this Super Bowl. 2nd down, 8 to go from the 28. Here's Darnold. And that's to the left sideline and incomplete.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. The shotgun snap for Darnold. He throws it on the move, but can't connect as that falls incomplete.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up 4th down.
On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. Back deep, Khalif Raymond. This is taken at about the 14. And that'll go as a 57-yard punt with a return of 12. And the Lions will take over. Back onto the field come the Lions for their 2nd overall drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Now that'll be caught by St. Brown. Calling a gain of 6 on the play. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
2nd down and 4. Now it's gone. That throw taken in by Jamison Williams. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. McGoffin Williams hooking up there for a Lions first.
1st and 10 at the 43-yard line.
Straight ahead with Gibbs here. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. Here's Goff. He's got his tight end, Anthony Ferguson. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
The Lions now going to use the 2nd of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half.
1st and 10 at the 43-yard line.
Now Goff. A short one pulled in by Ferguson. And he'll be stopped at the 35, but not before he picks up 7 yards.
It's a gain of 8. Brings up 2nd and 2.
And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. It'll be spotted on the right hash, a 52-yard attempt. And that's off the right upright, and it bounces away no good. So 2 quarters in the books here in Santa Clara. The Super Bowl 60 halftime straight ahead with Scott Hanson.
All right, Brandon, thanks much. Welcome in, everyone, to our studios in Orlando. Scott Hanson with you, and we'll keep it brief because the scoring has been brief. Just 1 field goal as we play on 3-0. I was promised there'd be touchdowns, so let's find out if we could get one in the 3rd quarter. Send it back out to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these 2 teams as we come back for this second half.
He can make that in his sleep.
Let's get this 3 points up the board. Oh, I can't look. I can't look.
Oh, come on, a chip shot.
These 2 teams sat through a longer than usual 30-minute wait, but we're back in action here in this Super Bowl. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. Here comes the Seahawks offensive unit. They'll have it first to begin the 3rd. And maybe time for this offense to really hit the reset button. They were shut out in the first half, but still, they're right in this game.
They certainly are. What I like about it is that you actually continue to play. You know, you just find a way to make a few plays yourself, and you noted it. Right there on the border in this game, they're not that far off. Just got to find a play or 2, and they could be very happy at that point.
First carry here for Ken Walker. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 16 yards right off the bat and a first down.
First down, Seahawks.
The more football I watch, the more I want to check and see if teams are going to panic when they're down on the scoreboard. And this team has shown no signs of doing that. A lot of the time, they come out after the half. Things haven't worked so well in the first go-around. They want to throw the football like crazy. But the way to open up throwing the ball is to run it. And they've run it well here to start the second half.
It's another first down on what will be a gain of 21 yards.
But that's the kind of play that was lacking all the way through the first half. Maybe this can give them a little bit of a spark because they're not out of this game by any stretch.
As Shaheed going to go in motion. Walker now on 1st and 10. And a very determined run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 27. Good effort. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
Back to Walker on first down. And some determined running there as he'll pick his way down to the 12-yard line. 42 yards rushing for him now on just his first 3 carries.
Ain't they like this drive a little bit better there, partner? Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. A play fake, and it's Darnold. Open man right side is Cup, complete. The great move couldn't free him. Taken down at the 10. Just a gain of a couple there. And it's 2nd down. Up next, the biggest quarter of the entire season. At the end of that, we get to crown a champion. We are through 3 here in Super Bowl 60. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Only 1 quarter left here in Super Bowl 60 as we get set to begin the 4th. They're looking at a 2nd and 8 now from the 10. Only 1 quarter left here in Super Bowl 60 as we get set to begin the 4th. 10 yards on the touchdown pass. And the Seahawks have regained the lead in the second half of this Super Bowl. Well, I think we both got to thinking the team that scores the first TD may be the one to win this football game, and here we go. Our first touchdown, and it comes in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, and it's a testament that both of these defenses were able to hold the line this long, but now on the other side of the field, they've got to be thinking if they got it done, we should be able to punch one in ourselves.
Jason Myers now for the extra point. And this is up and good to make it 7-3. So that drive 6 plays, 75 yards. And it was capped off by a Jackson Smith-Njigba touchdown catch. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30. And Detroit getting set to go now. And we're at the time in the Super Bowl where, look, they need points. And they need them badly. Trailing here in the 4th quarter as they begin this drive 1st and 10. Looking to put a drive together. They'll start things off with a give to Gibbs. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Yeah, another negative play in an early down situation. This one to start the drive. You're putting a lot of pressure on your quarterback to bail you out when you're in 2nd and long yardage.
From the gun, here's Goff. He's got his tight end over the middle. That's Ferguson. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line.
4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
It's 2nd down and
Limited
10.
time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a nonstop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to 3rd down.
And 10.
To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his second incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in, because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit, but a lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts, as he'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down.
10 at the 41-yard line.
Now it's gone. Throw left side complete. That's Gibbs. And he is going to get out of bounds with the first down, so that's going to double their pleasure for sure. They get the first and save a timeout. That's what they need right now. Get the first down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
On first and 10, here's Gibbs. Down to about the 22 here.
Partner, they're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
They come up now on 2nd and 2. Now Goff. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up third down. A couple extra defensive backs out there in the dime, and because of that, really not many places to throw the football, if any.
And typically, what would you want to do against that dime?
Run the football.
You want to run the ball, but you can't do it in this situation. Not nearly enough time on the clock. You're having to really navigate against a tough defense presented against you.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And able to get this down inside the 15, either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds.
Well, they got the yardage they needed there, picked up the first down, got out of bounds. How about the urgency that they have, as well as the understanding where they are on the field?
Here's first down. Goff now to throw. It's complete to Williams. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they stop it here with 1:07 remaining.
It's 2nd and inches at the 4-yard line.
Now 2nd down and a few inches. Now a give running left with Montgomery. And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. David Montgomery, a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Lions answer back with a touchdown of their own to take a fourth-quarter lead.
And this is a time of game where offensive lines can really dictate a team's fortunes. It's been a tough battle. They've been out there for a long time. But this was a question of who can wear down who. And that's excellent work to put a long drive together and finish it with the touchdown run to take the lead.
Point after, right down the middle. So it's now a 3-point game here in the closing stages, as a field goal now can only tie it. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. So now Darnold and the Seahawks down 10-7, a little under a minute to go. They need at least a field goal to send this Super Bowl to overtime as they come up on first down. Now Darnold. Gets this complete to Shaheed. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game.
At the 41-yard line.
Here's second down and 3. Darnold setting up the screen here. This is Walker. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
Here's Darnold. He finds Smith and Jigba. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
2nd and 6 coming up. Darnold to throw. Throw out wide to Walker. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. Gosh, given the time in the short game, would he have been better off just dropping that?
Yeah, when you look at the clock, you think so. But it's hard to get a receiver to drop a football. They're trained to catch everything.
Boy, here's a big one. You can just feel it. This is 3rd down now. Darnold. That is caught. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 14 seconds to go in the game.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Myers' kick is good. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds. So a money kick there in the final seconds. And now, barring any hijinks on the kickoff here, partner, I think you and we're going to settle in for a little overtime.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been a dogfight all through regulation. No reason to think it won't continue in the extra period.
So overtime on the horizon, barring a wild finish here as the kick's away. And that'll be a little too hot to handle as it will skip through the end zone for a touchback here. They'll come up 1st and 10 here. Goff. And that's caught by Williams. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45.
And partner, in a tie game in the 4th quarter, you and I both know in the NFL, that's when you lean on your stars, and he came through with a nice catch right there.
At the 48-yard line.
Well, going to be tough to get 2 plays out of this. This could very well be it. Goff now looking to throw. Here we go. This to avoid overtime. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. So 4 quarters wasn't enough, and we are off to overtime. Don't change that dial. So the Lions now, they'll get the first crack at things here in overtime as we are back underway. Shifts by him. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The Lions offense set to take over. Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10 at their own 27. Drive starts with a run from Gibbs. And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down. Short gain there to start overtime.
Almost a tester play, wasn't it? Wanted to see if the guys on defense were going to fit the gaps the correct way, because we're in overtime. So it's not just physical tiredness out there, right? Mentally, are you still doing what you're supposed to do? And they were up to the task on that play.
And certainly fatigue on both sides of the football. First throw in overtime for Goff. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
A gain of 15 yards. That's good for a Lions 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line.
Charles, you get into these overtime situations, that's not a bad guy to dial into.
Well, when you have to have plays, especially in a spot as you just described, we're in OT, you've got to go to the guys you can trust and you know are going to make the plays. Well, they say it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes. But no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
Tense moments in overtime of a Super Bowl. Remember, a touchdown doesn't yet clinch it as they come up on 2nd down. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage.
And that run was memorable for only one reason. There's absolutely no place to run with the football. No gaps, no creases, no gain.
So a big play in this opening drive of overtime. Now looking at a 3rd and 3. They'll run it. Here's Montgomery. He's going to be a yard short. Needed 2, but only got 1. 4th down. Decision time now on 4th and about a yard and a half.
I can still hear my high school coach, John Ford, right now. I want my #1 play with my #1 runner over my #1 blocker. Get me the 1st down. But some may very well say, punt this thing away, pin them down deep, and play field position.
Here we go on 4th. Goff. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. A gigantic call there in overtime, but it pays off with a 1st down. Things now, Charles, looking pretty good here. A great opportunity to try to cash in for 6 on the opening possession of overtime.
And what I'm liking, Brandon, is what I see down on the sidelines. I see a defense huddled up and ready to go, already preparing for their opportunity to go on the field and close out this game.
Now a timeout called for by the offense. They'll be left with just 1 remaining here at OT.
1st down. 1st and goal at the 3-yard line.
A chance now to strike first in the overtime session and get a big leg up. 1st and goal. Gibbs. And he'll get it down close to the goal line, but not quite in.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side. He's counting on the big guys up front to escort him in, and they couldn't create any kind of space for him, could they?
Yeah, didn't get the push they needed. Remember, again, a touchdown wouldn't win it just yet, but it can give him a big leg up. It's 2nd down. Here's Goff. That is caught. Touchdown. They strike first here in overtime. And Charles, that touchdown alone doesn't win him the game anymore with the rule changes and overtime in the postseason, but they still went down, scored, got the job done, and now they put it in the hands of their defense.
And with the other side now guaranteed an overtime possession, getting that score was vital. The pressure's now on their opponent, and their defense, they have to play off the momentum the offense generated. One stop, and they end this game.
These 3 points. He can make that in his sleeve.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Nice little juke. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And CD, the pressure is on here. Only a touchdown on this series will prevent their season from coming to an end right here, right now.
And this is why the postseason overtime rules were changed, probably to afford teams an opportunity to respond in this type of a situation, because in the past, this game would already be over, and the losing team would be making off-season plans. Now they've earned their way into a postseason. They do get a chance to answer after the other team scores first.
They need a matching touchdown here to keep their hopes alive. Here's 2nd down. Here's Darnold. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. So, CD, in the postseason, they obviously get the chance to answer that touchdown from a bit ago, but how do they set aside that pressure, knowing that their entire season is coming down to this series?
What a great question, and I don't think that they set it aside. I think that they confront it, and they've done it throughout practice time in preparation for opportunities like this.
Well, if you like drama, especially in the biggest of all games, we are back for the 2nd overtime now in the Super Bowl. Now a 2nd and 10. Again, Darnold. That'll be caught by Cup. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
It's a gain of 6, and it's 3rd down.
Back to throw, Darnold. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Walker. Back-to-back completions, and that puts them in enemy territory.
And we're always looking for that elusive term, momentum, aren't we? And I think they're building it with the back-to-back completions. Now they feel like they can either take a shot or continue to build it the way that they're doing now. Safe throws, get it to their playmakers, and see what happens.
This is where the new rule comes into effect. In past years, this game's over. They've got a chance, though, to match touchdowns now. It's 1st down. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds.
Out of bounds at the 43-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6.
Now a 2nd and 6. To the air again, Darnold. Smith and Jigbo hauling it in on the out route.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Here's Darnold. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here on this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on first down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
Here's 2nd and 10. To throw is Darnold. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. The Clemson product, DJ Reader, got in for the sack.
All about the offense so far this drive, putting something sustained together. But the defense, they responded on that play. 2nd and manageable became 3rd and long. The drive marching to the end zone is 1 play from stalling out.
Now a timeout called for by the offense. They'll be down to just 1 remaining as we step aside here in overtime. Nervous time now, moving the chains, an absolute must. Here's 3rd down. Darnold. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Well, here we go. Now it's gut check time. They need to convert here to keep the series and their season alive.
And obviously, this is their biggest snap of the season. And across the line of scrimmage, how about that defense? They feel exactly the same way, and they know they're 1 stop from celebrating a win themselves.
They snap it. They're going for it. Here's Darnold. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Seahawks go for it but can't convert. And this 11-play drive is going to lead to nothing on the scoreboard. And the Lions, yes, the Detroit Lions have won the Super Bowl. For the victors getting to hoist that Lombardi trophy, you know, we've talked to guys that have done it, and they say there's no better feeling in sports.
I don't know how there can be. The journey to get to this game is incredible. And then to finally break through and win it when all eyes are on this game alone because there's nothing else going on, that's just got to be absolutely amazing. The task, incredible. But the accomplishment, forever.